you have done adulteration to the milk. The person handling the dairy should be clean and it should be in white overall. The nails should be cut short because if it has got long nails, hizo long nails inabeba chafu na hizo chafu inaweza leta shida kwa ng'ombe. And also he or she should be medically fit because he might be sick and transmit the ugonjwa ambaye ako naye to the milk and then endangering the consumers. So you are seeing those people handling human food in the restaurants or in marketplaces. They have to be medically fit. That is why you see some signs unapata they are being rounded off by the public health officers to make sure that if they are handling public food, then they must be fit for that purpose. Also, there are some diseases which you can have, like TB. If you have got TB, you should not be allowed to be milking this animal. If you have got brucellosis, you should not be allowed to milk these animals. Because brucellosis, you can get it from the animal by drinking unpasteurized milk or poorly pasteurized milk, or by eating meat which has not been properly cooked. And that is why you see most men within the town, the brucellosis level is higher than women. But in the reserve, brucellosis is high in women than men. Because in the reserve, women they are the ones doing the milking. Huko town, most men wakati wanapumzika jioni anachoma nyama. Na hiyo nyama ijakuwa cooked properly. Eventually wana come to that kind of disease. Because you cannot detect brucellosis infection in an animal by inspection. Only the farmer will tell you the history that this animal of mine had aborted sometimes. With the brucellosis, ukipata brucellosis kama ni ng'ombe, you have to, it will abort. Then the second pregnancy, it will carry to term, but the animal, the calf can die within 1 to 3 months. Or it will survive, but with stunted growth. So if you get a cow with that kind of history, then you must suspect brucellosis. And such animals, mostly they have got retained placenta. So when you are told to go and remove a retained placenta, don't you just go and work with your bare hand. Put hand gloves, such that you don't contract any infection from that animal. So these are the sleeping chemicals. What's an name? These are sleeping chemicals, and they normally have mattresses for these animals to lie on. Unaweza naletea sisi mattress moja, mattress moja. Also, in a sterile grazing unit, something which you should take care of is food plots. If you have a sterile grazing unit with bottles, those bottles will carry some water with some debris from the milk or from the dam. That kind of situation will make the animal to come to food plot. So these are the mattresses which are meant for these animals. Akishakula hapo amesiba, then it will come this side to rest. So that is the part of hygiene they maintain here. Then ukiangalia that side, there is a drainage, and this plastering you can see it's sloped down, and this side then there is a drainage. This drainage, when they are washing, it goes up to that side. Then it goes down. You can see huko chini. That is biogas. So they produce biogas there. From the cow from this side. So even at home, you can use your animal to produce biogas. Provided, but if it is advanced pregnancy, then it can go to 38.9. Anything deviating from 38.9, then you will know the animal is sick. So the temperature of pneumonia. Who can tell me the temperature of pneumonia? Wale tumesafundisha. The temperature is pneumonia is 39.5. So if you take the temperature, you find 39.5, then you underline, you check other parameters which will indicate pneumonia, then you arrive at presumptive diagnosis. In the field, we do what we call presumptive diagnosis. In the laboratory, we do what is called confirmatory diagnosis. So you insert your thermometer, you put it like this, it touches the wall of the rectum, and then so kuja usome. So unaona vile ina pesa imefika 37.7, 37.8, 7. That is 38.1. That 8.4. Sunana. So the temperature of this animal is 38.4. So it is normal. So then when you are taking, you want to know the condition of the heart, how the heart beats. We normally place our stethoscope at this side. So this one is 38.4. This is the normal temperature. Stethoscope unaweka hapa. Unaona hapa? You hear the heart rate. If you don't have stethoscope, use the back of your hand. Weka hapa. If that animal is sick, you will hear the way the heart beats very fast. So hiyo ni kitu tunafanya in case you don't have stethoscope. Yeah. But you will not hear the sound from the lungs. You know, if the lungs is congested, you put stethoscope, you will hear movement like a waterfall. Yeah? That means the lung is congested, there is a lot of fluid inside the lungs. Then, let us go now milking. The first thing we have to observe, I said, the handler, the milker. The milker must be clean, and also the animal should be clean for you to produce good milk. If the animal is dirty, when you are milking, those dust will fall inside the milk, and it can lead to total condemnation of the milk. So you have to make sure that the animal is clean, the milking parlor is also clean, and the milk handler is also clean. When you want to milk, don't just start milking. You test. You use the back of your hand to test the milk from each quarter. When there is an infection from one quarter, you know we have got 4 quarters in the other, isn't it? So these 4 quarters, they don't communicate, but they will only get infection from one quarter to another when the calf is suckling. If the calf is suckling, then anashika hii matiti ambayo iko mbaya, then anashika ile ingine. It will have transferred the infection to the other quarter. So that's why we use mastitis test kit to test the clinical case of the mastitis, in case the animal has got mastitis. So you test one by one. You start with one teat. In the farm, you can advise farmer akate gumboot. Hiyo gumboot anakata, the outside ndio anatumia kukamua maziwa inaanguka hapo. You will see the viscosity of the milk. Ile milk ambayo iko watery, inatembea tu inaanguka. Ina slide. But milk with the good fat content, it a drop, but movement yake ni pole pole. Ile milk will say mastitis, unaweza pata iko na damu au imeclot au iko na pus. So or sometimes una milk unapata kitu kama liquid paraffin ndio inatoka. Unajua liquid paraffin ile tunanunua kwa duka. Na hiyo that type of mastitis utapata hii matiti iko ngumu kabisa. If you find hiyo titi ni ngumu kabisa, then we have to use dexamethasone if the animal is not pregnant. But if the animal is pregnant, don't use dexamethasone. Dexamethasone will reduce inflammation. Then you also use, if the animal is pregnant, you use Dawa-Tren injection. But if the animal is not pregnant, you need Dawa-Tren injection or Fenspet for you to treat mastitis. At the same time, there are pills where you infuse on each teat, and that one you infuse after complete milking. You will evacuate that quarter, bucket empty of milk. Is when you take the intramammary tube ambayo iko na dawa ndani, you remove the cover, then you insert inside. You can give it twice a day, in the morning, in the evening, depending on the severity of the infection. If the infection is not too much, then you use it once a day. If I insert it today, then the next day, tomorrow, I'll come at a milk, is when I insert another one. At the same time, if it's one teat, if you are a farmer practicing calf suckling without giving the milk to the calf in the bucket, then you restrain the calf from suckling. So I think you, and when you are milking, don't pull, you squeeze. You squeeze the teeth between your fingers and the thumb. Ukitumia namna hii, then you will make the teeth to be pendulous. If you want to know the animal is pregnant and at what stage, you do pregnancy diagnostics. We insert our hand through the rectum, then you palpate. If the animal is pregnant 3 months, you will, when you palpate, the calf will be bouncing back like a ball. If it is pregnant 4-5 months, you will see, there will be no bouncing, but you will see the length at which it's grown, and you can touch the legs, you can touch the head. An animal which is pregnant 8 months, you will find the legs imekuja like this, na kichwa hiko hapa. Now iko karibu kutoka. So that's how we do it. So let me, hii nyingine. So let me test this one. Tunaona maziwa inakuja. So unaweka kwa the back of your hand, then you check kama iko damu au iko pus au iko clots. So you test all quarters. After testing all quarters is when you start milking. If one quarter is bad, that quarter is milk last, na unamwaga hiyo maziwa yake. Why? Because if you mix the milk without testing, you mix milk from a bad quarter with the rest, na umechanganya na maziwa ya hizi kwa gallon, it can lead to total condemnation of the whole milk. So we should avoid that kind of thing when we are in the field. To advise farmer what to do. Now, these are the milking parlors, and for you to get a good milk, tulisema unaingiza ng'ombe kwa milking parlor for how long? The animal, when you want to milk, you put the animal in the milking parlor 30 minutes before you start milking. When you put it that way, you will see that animal urinating. Once you see the animal urinating, it means the oxytocin has been released from the pituitary gland to the blood circulation. Then it goes to the milk making cells, the alveolus. Then they will start secreting milk, such that when you start milking, you will get good milk there. But if we kuja na ng'ombe haraka ukuje naye hapa then uanze kukamua, utapata maziwa mingi kama yule ameleta ng'ombe 30 minutes to milking. Then when you are milking, make sure you finish milking within 5 minutes. If you extend, then the oxytocin will be withdrawn from the circulatory system back to the pituitary gland. And by that time, you will see the animal starting kicking you. Au ataki uguse matiti yake. Because that thing ambayo ilikuwa nafanya iwe docile to you, imetoka. So when milking, make sure you finish milking within 5 minutes. That is the time oxytocin level in the blood will be maintained. After 5 minutes, its activity will be withdrawn. So, and then after milking, you should wash the milking cans. Anything you have used for milking, you wash. We start with warm water. Why do we start with warm water? To remove the milk fats. Wakati umetumia hiyo can au milking bucket, there are some fats which will remain on the wall, si ndio?
Yeah.
So you use warm water to remove those fats. After thorough washing, then you rinse with cold water. Then you put it to dry outside for next usage, si ndio? Ile handkerchief umetumia ku wipe the udder, then you should also wash. You put it in the sun to dry. When you are milking, before you start milking, umesaa ingiza ng'ombe imekaa 30 minutes. Now you want to start milking. Do what I've done there. Test each quarter. Hiyo maziwa inatoka kwa hiyo quarter iko namna gani? Does it have some abnormality? If you detect that there are some abnormality, then you milk the ones which are good, then this one you milk last. Before you start milking, you use warm water to wash the udder. That one also helps in milk release. After washing the udder, and you wash the udder with warm water ambayo umeweka disinfectant. So you can use Biosec, unaweka kidogo. Then you wash the udder, then you milk. You can milk, some people use milking jelly when they want to start milking. Wengine wanakamua and then they apply milking jelly. But ideally, in the field, we should encourage applying jelly when you want to start milking to soften the teeth. So, for you to get milk. And we have said you squeeze, don't pull. After milking, what do? We weigh the milk. Si ndio? Ujue ni quantity gani umepata. After weighing, you do nini? After weighing, so you record. After recording, you immediately cool the milk to 10 degrees centigrade. Because if you leave it at the body temperature, then that milk will go bad within a short time. So how do we cool it? We put it under in a fridge. So that's why we say immediately after milking, cool the milk to 10 degrees centigrade. That one will give it more life back than ile milk umewacha bila to cool. So then you have to, but before putting it for cooling, you have to sieve such that you remove the ducts. You remove the ducts ili ukienda kuusia mtu akiona manyoa asisuspect ni kitu kingine. So you remove the duct by sieving. You use a sieve to sieve the milk. Then is when you cool it for you to take it to the market. Wengine wana boil but boiling hiyo is meant for home consumption, because when you boil there will be evaporation. That evaporation will go with some fats. So that is why some farmers prefer selling the way it has come from the cow, but you have to cool it down. So after recording the milk, you have cooled it, you have sieved it, then it is ready for sale. You can take it to the market. So the most important thing we have to observe when milking, don't allow some shrubs to be karibu na milking shade, because I've said milk is a good absorber of those bad smell. Even while the ladies, when you want to milk, don't put ile perfume ambaye iko na harufu ambaye itaenda kwa maziwa, because the consumer will detect that milk. So hapa naona they normally put those chemicals into it. Yeah. But ideally it should have the stove for those farm implements should be away from the zero grazing units and also those chemicals. Now tumemaliza hapa. Somebody with a question?
This procedure you said, can they apply to the local breeds?
The local breeds, yeah. Because the local breeds also succumb to mastitis. The local breeds also produce milk.
More so specifically to the procedure of milking.
The procedure of milking, yes. it applies. Like me at home, I normally put the animal at the milking place 1 hour or 30 minutes before I start milking, such that it will allow the animal to acclimatize with the area, and the milking place will be the usual place unapeleka ng'ombe. So once ameshazoea, wakati umepeleka yeye huko, anajua milking time imefika. And some animals, wakati kama it is a good producer, you fail to milk at midday, you will see the milk dropping by itself. So that one, it is practicable even to local animals, because all of them have got hormones. The great animals have got hormones. So that's why we have to do that. And then feeding. When you have got a dairy animal, and this dairy animal is producing, say, 20 liters, 30 liters per day, you should replace those minerals ambayo inatoka na maziwa. Unajua maziwa has got calcium, phosphorus, all minerals. So when you drain the milk, the animal remains without minerals. So you have to maintain by giving the animal Maclick Super. You can give Premium Leaf, those types of minerals which replaces the one being taken away by milk. So you have to give. And also, if the animal is in its last trimester, iko na mimba 3 months to calving, then you should also give the animal proper feeding. You can give it dairy meal at 1 kilogram per day. You should also give DCP, dicalcium phosphate. That one will help to the animal with the calcium. Because if you don't do that, the animal will give birth, then ashindwe kuamuka. Sahi, there is a farmer who came to me, anasema if the animal is in its last trimester, wakati anasimama, it takes time isi mguu ya nyuma ianze kutembea vizuri. So nikamwambia hiyo ni ukosefu ya madini kwa mwili, because ndama imeshaka some minerals, na some minerals sasa inaenda kwa mtungu ya maziwa. So nikapea DCP. That is how we can cure that one. You give the animal DCP, and also you can give dairy meal for good health of the calf, such that when the calf is born, itasaliwa ile calf kwa sake iko strong, at the same time of good health. When you are milking an animal producing 7 liters per day, pengine it gives you 4 liters in the morning and 3 liters in the evening, you add 1 kilogram of dairy meal. Ile 1 kilogram of dairy meal kwa market, unaangalia kilo moja ya dairy meal ni pesa ngapi? If it is 50 or 40, na ng'ombe imeongeza lita moja, hata lita moja na nusu, then una calculate hiyo lita moja na nusu ni pesa ngapi kwa market. Then you subtract the cost of giving dairy meal 1 kilo, you subtract from the money you can get from 1.5 kilogram of milk. If you find there's a profit, then you increase to 2 kilograms. You do that mpaka ufike wakati hata ukiongeza another kilogram, there is no increase in milk. You stop there. That's how we give the dairy milk to the animal. An animal giving less than 7 kilograms per day or 7 liters per day, you just give mineral supplements. But you have to mix the napier grass, because napier grass alone cannot help. You mix napier grass with desmodium. Desmodium should be planted along the row of the napier grass, such that wakati unakata napier grass, unakata na desmodium. That one you will enrich the animal with protein. You can ask why, and that is when the animal will be fertile. You can ask why the Maasai people, their population is low, because of the lifestyle. Iko Maasai hapa, because they rely on milk and meat. They eat very little greens. Unaona? Lakini hapa Kisii you will find huko kwa soko, mama amenunua nyoyo ile marago imemix na mahindi, na tena anakata avocado anachanganya nayo. Such a person will be very fertile. So that's why the population here is a bit high. Lakini wale population iko kidogo because of their lifestyle. Because these greens ndio iko na hormones na ndio iko na enzymes. Unaona? So if you don't eat greens, then you will suffer from ukosefu ya enzymes which will facilitate the activities of hormones. See, enzymes ina facilitate the rate of chemical function. Yes, so if you lack enzymes, you don't eat the greens, then you will be infertile. That's why when the farmer says ng'ombe yake asiki ng'ombe or asiki mbegu, then you should tell him or her to make proper feeding. A feed greens, ape dewormer, ape multivitamin na hiyo chumvi. The animal can be inaweza taja mbegu lakini iko na ukosefu ya selenium na copper. Hiyo ng'ombe itasika mbegu. Because those chemicals, those minerals are very important for the fertility of the animal. Yes, but you can also do PD, not PD. You palpate the ovaries. The animal might not be getting on heat because of the cystic ovaries. If the ovaries are cystic, then the follicle stimulating hormone will not work there to rupture the follicle stimulating hormone. So those are the things you might find somebody the animal abortic because of ukosefu ya progesterone. Progesterone is the one maintaining the pregnancy in animals. So, na ile kwa human we call it human chorion gonadotrophy, ambaye you can check even if kama mama amesika mbegu hata leo, even within 2 weeks or 1 week, ukichukua ile makojo yake upime, utapata the presence of human chorion gonadotrophy. Ndio itaonyesha huyu mama amesika. Feeding, I think normally how many times do you feed? 3 times a day. Yeah, normally there was a time I came here, these animals were crying, were mowing. Okay. Because kumbe walichelewa na chakula. Walienda kutoa kwa field. So if they don't have feed there, they will start mowing. Yes.
And now I hear you say some times back that one of them was pregnant.
Nilikamua kitu kama salad ndio ilitoka.
Salad. So how is that being done here? Because I'm not seeing,
pregnancy. Pregnancy you can detect wakati unakamua hiyo.
Like the process.
PD. Unataka kujua PD?
I mean the mating process.
Mating.
How is being done?
AI. AI. Normally, let us talk about AI. So when the animal start moving, how passing discharges from the reproductive canal, the vulva, then it should be done. The insemination should be done within 12 to 18 hours, katikati hapo. Because if you delay, if you inseminate mapema, chance ya kusika mbegu tena ni kidogo. Then if you delay insemination, inseminate 20 hours from the time the animal started moving, also kusika mbegu inakuwa kidogo. So the best time is between 12 to 18 hours from the time the animal started moving. After insemination, you will wait for 1 month, 18 to 21 days. If it does not come on heat again, then you will assume the animal is pregnant. But when we want to do a pregnancy diagnosis, we palpate the rectum wall huku ndani. Then you will see if the animal is pregnant 3 months, it will be bouncing inside the uterus like a ball. But before that, before 3 months, or say the first 3 weeks, the calf, the new implant will be along the fallopian tube and the ovary horn. Iko chini hapo. So as the child gets growing, then it will roll pole up to the uterus. So for uterus, then it will start developing there, and the production of those the placental membrane will start, because the placental membrane is the one which will be feeding the calf. So PD Pili nimesema, you have not seen how we do it. Umeona? So there's no need of doing it. So normally AI, if you repeat 3 times, then you have to do what we call you give oxytocin. In the market it's called oxytocin, so that the animal can be heat. You can also give gonadotrophin. Gonadotrophin is a mixer. That one is also helping this. The one we use when you are doing oestrus synchronization. You know oestrus synchronization, whereby you give the animal that hormone such that they become on heat at the same time. Then you inseminate. So the first one you give, then you repeat at 10 days. Then within 12 days, the animals will be on heat. Such that we give that one when we want to carry the newly fertilized eggs to another animal to carry. So that one is also happening. You want to give to those animals which are not only, which don't show heat. So you give it in a beba, alafu itazaa baadaye. So rabies. Oh yeah. So I've said normally we have got 3 types of rabies. We have got paralytic rabies. Then we have got furious rabies. Then we have got damp rabies. Damp rabies, utaona ng'ombe au umbwa inani mpole, lakini unastuka tu ameuma wewe. Paralytic rabies, umbwa imekaa na hii mguu ya nyuma, lakini hizi mguu ya mbele inafanya kazi. So anajaribu kukwaruta ili atembee, lakini anasinda as if there is a big weight here. That is paralytic rabies. The hind legs are paralyzed. So anajaribu kutumia the front legs. Then furious rabies ni ile umbwa inakimbia nje, inauma mtu yeyote amepata njiani. And then we will find protrude the tongue. The same to ng'ombe, itaruka, inakimbia. At the same time inagusa hata kitu ambayo imekuja across its way. It will be drooling. Ile drooling saliva, which that one also happens to paralytic rabies. Drooling saliva ambaye hawezi toka, hawezi katika. Then when you want to test, because sometimes listeriosis, which is a bacterial disease, also have got some of those signs. In a kick, in a mow, all those signs. But with the rabies, you take water in the trough, you take it to the animal. Then the animal you will see as if anataka kukunya hiyo maji, then anastuka na kimbia. So ni kama ameona kitu saitani kwamba maji. But if the animal hata kama amekunya maji kidogo, then you will rule out rabies. Now you treat for listeriosis. So imekula mahindi, tumbo ina dysentery because those normal microflora cannot carry out their work. They have been reduced in number. That's why even when in a case of protozoal infection like amoeba, you give the animal those tablets which will reduce the population of protozoa, because those feed conversion ratio. So we go down, we go to this types of ponds. We have got concrete pond like this one. We have got line ponds where you use polythene, those black ones. Then we have got mud ponds, not mud. Nini? Earthen. Ile unasindilia mchanga chini ndio water isipotee. Hiyo tunaita earth pond. So have you seen the problem here? Have you detected? Huko town, they normally release the water after 14 days, ndio? Because ili iwe poisonous to the fish. Hapa they are using the inlet and the outlet. Is kwa the inlet there is a lot of water. I told them to reduce the flow of water. It should be coming in drips, and so kutoka nje should be in drips. At the same time, the way this place is hapo, it should be like that one. Na huko nje pia inatakana itoke pole pole namna hiyo in drips. At the same time, hapa we don't have the deeper end and the lower end. The unaona samaki kuja? Iko na wanakuja hapo
bado hawajakuja.
So
hiyo sio samaki,
si ni samaki.
lakini
mnaona samaki
Bado
sura hiyo
of the poultry and the environment, such that when visitors come, they have to dip their foot on the disinfectant at the gate to the poultry house. At the same time, you have to take care of the birds from any predators, and also you take care of the birds when they are young, the chicks. You know the chicks, when you buy them at the day old, zile za kienyeji mama zao wanalalia, si ndio? Yeah. Providing them with warmth. Here you have to provide them with warmth by giving them what we call Egostin chick formula or colchicine chick formula, ambayo iko na antibiotic, at the same time iko na energy and vitamins. When you give that, you give 1 teaspoonful into 5 liters of water, wanakonywa. At the same time, you put them in a brooder. A brooder is a small enclosure, such that the heat from the young one, from me, and the heat from the other one, these chicks, if they are 50, they generate heat, will warm the environment. At the same time, you provide the heat by giving 1 lamp bulb, which can be 100 watts. If you put 100 watts, you hang on top of the brooder, and you see the poultry are running away from that bulb, it means the heat is too much. You reduce by putting a bulb of 70 watts. Hiyo pia ukiona bado wana run away, you put ile ya 40. Ukiona hiyo ya 40, they are evenly spread in the brooder, then that is the right temperature for you to maintain those birds. When 80% ya manyoya imemea, then there is no need of supplying heat. Unawacha sasa. Heat you normally will supply because sile manyoya wametoka naye kwa hatchery is not enough to provide them with warmth. So that's why we give that one. Then when I go to diseases, this is how you can detect a disease from a poultry, using the signs and the other fecal matter. So with the coccidiosis, a farmer will tell you kwamba kuku yake imetoa choo lakini iko na damu kidogo imegandana. Tena anaona some minyoo. Those kitu anasema minyoo are woocyst. Si mnajua woocyst? So you give the farmer Amprolium ambaye anaenda anachanganya. And when their birds are sick, it's not the way we can mix with water when they are not sick. When they are not sick, we give 5 liters of water in 1 teaspoon. When they are sick, 1 teaspoon, 1 liter. Then they drink. When the farmer comes and then you ask the color of diarrhea, unamwambia hiyo poultry yake ina diarrhea. Unauliza color gani? If he tells you that it is greenish, then what comes to your mind? Newcastle. At the same time, you will find that kuku in Angorota. Hiyo ni Newcastle with greenish. We call it viscerotropic Newcastle. Then a farmer can tell you kuku yake ni mgonjwa lakini imetwist its neck, au saa ingine kama nakula nyasi, akifuruta nyasi anataka kuanguka. That one is neurotropic Newcastle. Ile inafanya singo inakuwa twisted. So if it is that disease, you separate the ones which have been infected Those ones which have not been infected, in case they have not been infected, then you vaccinate. But if you vaccinate na tayari wamekuwa infected, clinical signs ndio ijatoka, bado they will succumb to the disease. With the Newcastle, it is a viral disease, and the death rate is 60 to 90%. So that is why you better vaccinate your birds at day 1. Then you repeat at 3 weeks. After which, you will be doing it every 4 months or 6 months. Then we go to fall typhoid. Fall typhoid pia makes the birds to gorota. Iko na respiratory distress. But choo yake, the farmer will tell you the choo is what? White. So if the choo is white, then you think of fall typhoid. Fall typhoid, there is vaccination, fall typhoid vaccine. That one you do at 3 weeks of age. Then we have got fall pox. Fall pox, utapata kuku ni mgonjwa with some kidonda. Sehemu hakuna manyoa. Utapata kidonda iko hapa, macho imefura, ukifinya, usaa inatoka. Hiyo ni fall pox. It is also viral. That one we vaccinate. Unachukua dawa, vaccine, unaingiza mdomo ya sindano kwa vaccine, then unachanja hapa. Vile tulikuwa tunachanja wa zamani. That is fall pox, fall typhoid, fall pox. Fall typhoid, you inject intramuscular. So those ones, fall pox, fall typhoid, it is you who has to go and vaccinate the birds at home. With the Newcastle, you give the farmer the vaccine, anaenda anafanya vile umeinstruct yeye. Because hiyo unaweka drop kwa macho au kwa mapua. That one you will have vaccinated the birds. If the birds are so many, unapata birds are 4,000, you take the dose as required, unaweka kwa pump, then you spray the house. But you make sure you close all the avenues which might drive the drug out through the air. So you close the dirisha just the way we close manyumba zetu wakati umespray the animal, you spray the house kuua zile unaita na maana gani? Kunguru. You close the house and then you come back to the house 12 hours after spray. So with the vaccination of Newcastle, that one what we do. But with the fall typhoid, unafika unadonga. Sawa? Yeah. So that is what I can tell on poultry diseases.
What is the difference between avian flu and poultry?
Avian flu is very different with the smallpox. Avian flu also affects human. And that is why kuna wakati outbreak of avian flu ilikuja mpaka people were advised not to stay with birds in the house. And also when handling poultry feces, don't handle bare hands. Put on gloves because there is what we call ornithosis. Have you done zoonotic diseases? Ornithosis can be present in the feces of the birds. Na ikishika wewe, you will be seeing so many people in your house. Wewe ndio unaona lakini mimi sioni. Wewe unaona watu wengi wamejaa kwa nyumba yako na unasema because inaleta hiyo hallucinations na that kind of jina nimepotea. Because of that ornithosis. And the best drug is oxytetracycline. Ndio unatumia. So unalia hata vitu yako yote, unakufa nini, unamwambia watu wamezingira wewe, na niko na wewe unasema watu wamezingira wewe. So that is ornithosis ambaye tunapata kwa handling fecal matter ya poultry bare hand. Sawa? Yeah.
We talked about and the use of apple. And you said that you can use one
teaspoonful in 5 liters of water for prevention.
Yes.
But if they are sick, make the concentration conk. 1 teaspoonful in 1 liter of water. Yes.
So do you mean that 1 teaspoonful in 5 liters of water is something that you can apply maybe on frequently?
Treatment should be 5 to 7 days. Treatment should be 5 to 7 days. But here, 1 teaspoonful in 5 liters, that is continuous for prevention. But if they are sick, 1 teaspoonful in 1 liter. Even fall pox smallpox unajua ni viral but kuna dawa natumia na inapona. So hiyo tunaweka tu 1 cc into 1 glass of water. Kama iko na hizo kidonda na inangorota, kupumua inasumbua yeye. But if kama kungorota kuna, you want to clear hizo wounds, then 1 cc into half a liter of water. So we want to go to the dogs.
Dogs.
Tunaangalia umbwa ndio